What is up, everyone? I am Jamie with Three Little Goats Homestead, and today is a market day. So I figured I would bring you guys along because I don't think I've ever filmed at this market. It is in one of our bigger-ish towns. It has a full-size Walmart, so we consider it the big-ish city. So
it's got more than one light.
And it has more than one. Yeah, it has more than one stoplight. So we'll be heading that way. We've got to finish packing up. I do got to grab some business cards. I just realized I ran out of those. And then we got to get the coolers in, the milk, the cheese, the ice cream, all that. And then we'll hit the road.
The sun's hanging low, painting gold on the pine. The engine hums soft like a slow lullaby. Dust kicks up behind my old red Ford, radio humming like it's never been bored. Windows roll down, air sweet with June, the scent of honeysuckle and a back road tune. I'm driving down the back roads of Arkansas, where the world slows down and I forget it all. Creek beds shimmer and the tall grass sways. I find a little peace in the lost highway. Yeah, I'm driving down the back roads of Arkansas. Past the church where Mama used to sing, and Daddy's field where wildflowers cling. Memories ride shotgun with a southern breeze. Life makes sense under these sycamore trees. I'm driving down the back roads of Arkansas, where the world slows down and I forget it all. Creek beds shimmer and the tall grass sways. I find a little peace in the lost highway.
Just put them in that cooler, it's fine. Alright, so we are packed up. Got the coolers packed. It's time to get on the road, so.
Take your trunk with you.
You wanna go with me, Chonk? Where'd you go, Chonk? You know, you get car sick, don't ya? Yeah. Alright, let's go.
Brings me back to why I'm driving down the back roads of Arkansas, where the world slows down and I forget it all. Creek beds shimmer and the tall grass sways. I find a little peace in the lost highway. Yeah, I'm driving down the back roads of Arkansas. The sun sets slow and the night birds call.
Alright, so we are currently on our way to Batesville. Where I live, we have two bigger markets on Saturdays, and they're in opposite directions of each other. So I go to the Batesville market, which is the smaller of the two markets. We get a couple hundred people through the market every week. We have a small vendor list that runs between 10 and 15 vendors that set up each week, and it kind of rotates through. And I like it because I don't feel overwhelmed that I'm going to sell out and not have anything for any of my other markets, because I do currently do 3 markets a week, and so I only have so many days to get things prepped and ready for the market. The Mountain Home Market, which is a lot bigger, currently has, I think, around 100 vendors. They get, I think, 1,000 or 2,000 people through each week. It's a little bit further away, and it starts a lot earlier. So Batesville starts at 9, Mountain Home starts at 7, and you have to be set up and out of the parking lot there by I think 6:30 or 6:45. So that makes for a very early morning and a very long day, especially when it gets hot. And I don't think I have the amount of inventory, especially with our dairy, to justify going to the bigger market, because I would probably sell out early and I would still have to sit there because one of their stipulations is you can't leave until the market is over. So I like the littler market. It just makes more sense for the size of dairy that we have. Now, if we were doing twice what we are currently producing, then maybe a larger market like Mountain Home would be more ideal. But for me, I'd rather just stick to the smaller markets and not have to be so stressed out about inventory all the time. Because with like our soaps, if I sell out at a market, it's not like I can go home, throw some soap in a mold and cut it and it'd be ready for the next week. Yeah, I try to keep stuff on the curing rack and rotating, but in the summer it's really hard for me to sit down and make a bunch of batches of soap. So we're going to continue on with the Batesville market. I did the Batesville market a few times last year. It was at a different location. The location they moved it to this year is a lot better. It's at a park, it's on a more main road, and it's not tucked back. We used to have to drag all of our stuff into the park and set up that way. The new location, we can actually just park our vehicles right there and offload. And it's nice with me because with our refrigeration units, I kind of have to keep them on the truck. They're really heavy for me to be hauling back and forth. So at this market, I can park my truck and set up right next to it, so I can be right there with the coolers. So we're almost there, so let's get there and start setting up. Alright, so we have arrived. I got to get the coolers plugged in, and I am always the first to arrive. Occasionally someone will show up shortly after me. On very rare occasions someone will be here before me, but I'm usually always the first. So let's get these guys plugged in so we can get on down. So let's get everything plugged in. I'm gonna hopefully I brought all the right cables. So I could plug all these into the new one because it's a lot bigger. I'm going to plug my Beaver one into the small one because once that one is cleaned out, I can just unplug it and I have to worry about it. And the two others will go in the bigger Palladium.
The tents go up and the joy fills the air. Peaches stacked in a wooden crate. Smiles wide and the vibes feel great. Saturday smiles at the farmer's market. Tomatoes red and a band just started. Kids with lemonade, flowers in hand. Everything's better with a bluegrass band. Oh, we laugh and we dance and we fill our cart with Saturday smiles from the farmer's market.
Honey jars glisten in the morning light. Grandma's jam tastes just right. A fiddle plays and I tap my shoes. There's magic here in the morning hues. Saturday smiles at the farmer's market. Tomatoes red and a band just started. Kids with lemonade, flowers in hand. Everything's better with the bluegrass band. Oh, we laugh and we dance and we fill our cart with Saturday smiles from the farmer's market.
Alright, so we are officially set up. We still have about 15 minutes before the market officially opens. We've had a few people kind of walk through already. So I'll take you around. We still have vendors showing up and setting up, so I'll kind of show you what we have going on.
We're one big family. Saturday smiles at the farmer's market. Tomatoes red and a band just started. Kids with lemonade, flowers in hand. Everything's better with a bluegrass band. Oh, we laugh
is 8 o'clock or 10 o'clock. The market started at 9, so we're at it for about an hour. Let's see what we have left for the day. So this cooler had cow milk and goat milk and some cheeses. Empty. We've got 2 Jersey milks left. I've got some goat cheese left, clotted cream, 1 Asiago, and 1 Cajete left. And then this was full of ice cream, and that is what I have left. But I'm going to take this because it's hot. Alright, so it is not quite 12 o'clock. I unplugged the ice cream freezer because it's empty. The Viver is empty. And then I just have the Cajete is sold. I'm just holding for somebody. And I just have a goat cheese and some clotted cream left. But the other Blue Eddy bank is already in the truck because I turned it off early because we emptied that one early. This guy is sitting at 49% still, and it's just running this cooler right now because the other 2 are empty. Now the market does go until 1, but since I'm out of all my dairy and I don't want to tax my batteries just for 2 things of cream, I'm going to go ahead and pack up and call it a day. It was a good day at the market. I sold a lot of soap. I started already packing and I remembered I was making a video. So I'm going to finish packing up so we can go home and maybe take a nap before we have to milk the cows. Not the only one actually packing up. All of our bakers have been wiped out from this market as well. So if we don't have anything to sell, there's no point in really sitting here for another hour and a half just in the heat. So, and the wind's picking up, and I forgot my tent weights, which if you've ever done markets, tent weights are very important. So I'm going to definitely pack up because I'm not trying to chase my tent across the river. Alright, so we are all packed up and headed home. It is 90 something degrees out, so I am very thankful that we sold out of dairy fairly early. We sold out at 11. I stayed until 12 just because I still have soaps and the lotions and stuff, but even that, if you've seen when I was setting up, I didn't have a whole lot as far as soaps go right now. I have stuff on the curing rack, but it's not quite ready, so I stayed until 12. There's already 2 other soap vendors there. They set up, one sets up every week with me, and then the other one I think sets up every other week or every 2 weeks. So it's not like there would be a shortage of soap if I left early. So I was perfectly fine with them just letting them sell their soap so I can go home and sit in the AC for today. So we're gonna get home and unpack. I haven't heard from Jesse. He's actually at a farmer's market on the other side of where we live with his ham radio club. So he's not selling anything. He's there for an event, and there's their ham radio club set up kind of, I think, for charity to sell some stuff to raise money for the club. So he's over there, and I'm sure he's just enjoying all of the heat and stuff as well. So I will probably meet him home, which means I will offload and probably eat some ice cream that I have at home and take a nap. Alright, y'all. So I got home. The boy helped me offload everything off of the truck, and then went inside, did some chores till Jesse got home, and then we kind of just hung out in the AC for a little while. So we just finished up milking, but now I gotta go into the greenhouse, which I'm just gonna start off by saying that an ugly garden still produces food. We have had so much rain this month that it was impossible to get out to anything out here, really, because it was always raining. And then because of all the rain, mosquitoes pretty much taken over the greenhouse. I felt like I had to wear a bee suit going in there some days because the mosquitoes were just so bad. Last night the mosquitoes weren't too bad. I had to go out there and pick some tomatoes, and I'm hoping today it's not awfully bad. I have to pull the peas and the broccoli out because, well, they're done for the season in there. And then the tomatoes have kind of just taken over. So I just got really windy, so hopefully you guys can even hear me. Right, so remember, this is a judgment-free zone. I've been really busy with the market. It's been really rainy. It's hot in there, so let's pick some tomatoes. Alright, like I said, the tomatoes have kind of taken over. The peppers are doing amazing, and even in all of this hot mess, you know what? I'm still getting tons of tomatoes each day. I did pick last night, so I'm not seeing a whole lot standing out. So I'll go ahead and water and pick and see what we get. Let's see what we got here. No, I do tend to pick them when they blush, just because there are days where I may not get out here for a day or two. So if they're starting to turn, I will go ahead and pick them. These guys don't turn red, they turn orange anyway. That way they're not getting completely destroyed. Or when I miss them, they're not overly ripe when I pick them. Or start to fall off the plant. Alright, let's get this place watered so we can get outside and pick some blueberries. Alright, so everything is watered. I've checked the blueberries. I've got some that are turned right now. There's just, it's not a whole lot to pick, so I'm going to wait till tomorrow to pick them. And it never fails, after I water, I always find more tomatoes to pick. But, and yes, I know I could help the mosquito issue if I trimmed my tomatoes back and I'd have a better yield and I'd deal with less issues with better airflow. But you know what? At this point, we are surviving in the garden. We are not thriving, and I am okay with that because it's a lot. You gotta remember, I do 3 markets a week. Plus, we milk the goats, we milk the cows. And yeah, it's a lot. Plus the soap business, which I've had people ask me when I'm going to restock the soaps on the website. Hopefully next week I'll have some more soaps that I can get listed. And if not, maybe the next week. Like I said, we're winging it. Summer months are not my most productive months when it comes to stuff around the homestead, because it gets hot and we get busy. So, but we got plenty of tomatoes. I have a ton of tomatoes in the house I have to process. I've just been coring them and throwing them in freezer bags and tossing them into the freezer till I have a ton of them to be able to process. I think I have 7 or 8 bags in the freezer, plus 2 big baskets like this one on the counter. So yeah, we are not hurting for tomatoes right now. But I am back at the house and I can hear the AC calling my name. So I'm going to end this video. So if you liked it, as always, give it a big thumbs up. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. We put out new videos every single week. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.